1-800-8-BIG-RED.
This is the Happy Hour.
You guys going to happy hour?
Live from the Koppel Chevrolet GMC studios in the heart of Lincoln, America.
Yeah, I'll come for a couple.
Here are your hosts, Nick Sainert.
I want to know what it's like to commit a crime without having to spend time in jail.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
C is for chunk.
Brought to you by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Good afternoon. Happy Friday. This is the Happy Hour, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary with you. Rico, what's up?
Hey there.
How's it going, man?
I'm going great, dude.
That's good.
Doing great.
I'm glad. Happy Hour sponsored by Empire Fence and Netting. In Waverly, they bring your best ideas to life. From concept to completion, your project is their priority. Get a quote today by visiting empire-fence.com or call 402-682-7658. Also, shout out to Good Sense. It's Good Sense Friday here at 93.7 The Ticket, so appreciate Good Sense Subs and the Pillar Restaurant Group for providing our staff with sandwiches every Friday for our hosts and staff. Good Sense Subs, visit any of their 5 locations in Lincoln today. Okay,
Delicious.
So we have some stuff to get to.
Yes.
402-464-5685, the Honda Lincoln Hotline, the Sartor Heyman text line, both those open for you guys the entire hour. Okay, so this just came out actually from Major League Baseball. Los Angeles Dodgers starter Trevor Bauer has received a 2-year suspension from Major League Baseball. I forgot about Trevor Bauer.
I did too.
The last thing I remember about Trevor Bauer was him chucking a baseball over the center field wall at Kauffman Stadium.
Was he a Dodger then, or
No.
was he with the
He was with
Cleveland,
the Indians.
then Indians, now Guardians?
Yes.
That
Are we?
I don't remember. Did he even pitch for the Dodgers? Like,
Yeah, I think so. I want to say he did for a while.
I just cannot.
They spent all that money on him.
Yeah, I just can't see him in Dodger blue. Well, yeah, they spent all that money on him, and then he is not a great dude.
So with the Dodgers, he pitched in 17 games. Or no, was he with the Reds when he chucked the ball over? No, that would have been
No,
NL.
he was with Cleveland.
So in 17 games with the Dodgers. So remember, he's a guy that signed for $28 million a year in 2021. I'm trying to find loss. Okay, so 3-year, $102 million contract with opt-out options after 2021 and 2022. Okay, so on July 2nd, Major League Baseball placed Bauer on administrative leave while internal investigation was opened into sexual assault allegations. At the time the allegations were made public, Bauer had an 8-5 record and a 2.5 ERA in 17 starts. He led Major League Baseball with 107 2/3 innings pitched and 137 strikeouts. On September 10th, Major League Baseball and the Players Union agreed to extend Bauer's leave through the remainder of the 2021 season. Previously, the extensions had been made on a week-by-week basis. So, here it is. So why are we just now hearing about it now? Major League Baseball's investigation into Bauer was suspended due to the lockout, and he began the season on continued administrative leave as the investigation continued. So that's why we didn't hear about it before. So once again, that was not what I was expecting to start with, but 402-464-5685. Once again, Trevor Bauer placed on suspension for 2 years from Major League Baseball, and we'll see if he decides to try it again after that. Because administrative leave, I want to say he still had pay.
Yeah. I believe
he was just chilling over there.
Which even 2 years.
Same thing with Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, 2 years without pay, I don't think really is going to do much when you were getting paid $28 million a year.
That's a good point. So actually, speaking of just pay and signing bonuses and things like that, I looked up last night during the draft. It's always fascinating to me. Once again, 402-464-5685. Hit us up on Twitter, Nick_Sainer, and at Radio Rico AC as well. It's always interesting to me on draft night. Number one, how long the draft takes.
Round one was, it could have gone a lot quicker if they would actually have just gotten to the picks when they got in, because the picks were getting in fast and furious. Teams were like, I know who I want. This is who I want. Send it in. And then the NFL and Roger Goodell were like, yo, chill.
Which Greeny, so I didn't mind Mike Greenberg on
which broadcast did you watch? Did you watch the
ESPN?
Okay, so did I.
Was Wingo on Channel 8?
I don't know. There was the ESPN and then there was the NFL Network. I watched the ESPN broadcast with Booger and Greeny.
So there were a couple thoughts with the ESPN network or ESPN one, because I love Lou Riddick. Lou Riddick is really, really smart. I personally think he should be in the front office.
He needs to be in somebody's front office, but I'm mad for him, but I'm not mad for me, because then I get to hear Louis Riddick talk about football.
So I don't know, it kind of was swept under the rug. And I honestly, I'll be 100% honest and transparent. I didn't know we were still doing the whole, if you haven't been vaccinated with COVID-19, that ESPN just didn't allow their on-air talent to travel, because that's why Mel Kiper wasn't at the NFL draft. He was in his home.
I did not even,
because
he didn't want to be.
He was unvaccinated. And I honestly did not know why.
I thought he just didn't want to be there.
But Booger needs to walk away. Booger needs to walk away from an ESPN broadcast.
I like Booger.
No, that's a mean word.
I dislike Booger on play-by-play color commentary, but I like Booger analyst role, like at like a Sports Center desk or in the role that he's in right now.
Maybe
I don't mind it, but if he's doing like color commentary, he doesn't do play-by-play. If he's doing color commentary, no, please get away.
Maybe
the Booger Mobile, bad idea.
I just disliked him so much on color commentary that it carried over to just when I saw him on the desk. I
like Booger. He knows what he's talking about. He knows football.
See, well, the ESPN did a really, really bad job of Mel Kiper, because they had him in like the box or whatever. And Mel Kiper's been doing this like 40 or 42 years.
57,000 years.
Yeah, forever, right? And he's kind of the staple. When you turn on, it's always Mel Kiper and Todd McShay. They're mock drafts, right? Todd McShay. And you turn on ESPN and it's Greenberg, Lou Riddick, and Booger. Why do I keep saying Booger? Booger McFarland. And I'm like, where is Mel Kiper? This does not feel like an NFL draft without Mel Kiper. Then he pops up in a little box. They give him like 15 seconds to work with. They turn the box away. And then it's back to Booger and like, Greenberg talking. And I'm like, what is going on here?
Do you think
then they're talking over each other? Like Mel Kiper, after a dude gets drafted or before, and they're like, what do we think that they're going to draft here? And they bring up Mel Kiper in the little box, and he's trying to talk to him. But Booger's so infatuated with what he has to say that he doesn't let Mel Kiper talk. And at the end of the day, Mel Kiper is a better draft guy. I want to listen to Mel Kiper way more than I want to listen to McFarland.
Well, Mel, I'm sorry. It just was not meant to be. You were meant to be talked over by Booger. Why do you do this?
You can't wait. No, hop on the microphone.
You can't wait. No.
Stay. Come back in here. Come back in here.
Bad dog.
Actually, question. Come here.
Why do you do? Close the door.
Talking to my mom. What's up? Oh, you're talking to mom? Okay, I'm
sorry. Tell mom I said what's up.
So, do you like Booger McFarland?
No, he's terrible.
Former Colt, though.
I like Booger. Am I the only one?
No, he's terrible.
I hate.
He's
like
awful.
I said, I hate the way that Booger talks.
I don't like Booger on color commentary, but I like Booger doing analyst stuff.
I'd rather him do analyst stuff than color.
Yes, the color
bad.
I think my dislike for him doing color commentary carried over into last night.
I'd agree with that. Leave Booger alone.
No.
Leave Booger alone, as Nick would say.
Colorado, thank you, Nathan. Colorado Herbie says I like Booger better. So, yeah. So unfortunately, like Mike Greenberg, I did not like. I saw a lot of reaction on Twitter. Everybody wanted Trey Wingo back. Trey Wingo, right?
Yes.
Trey Wingo back. I liked Greeny.
Was Wingo on NFL Network? Maybe.
I didn't watch NFL Network, so somebody can help us out.
Normally, that's where I watch the NFL draft is on NFL Network, but I just watched it on ESPN because I just decided to.
The NFL draft last night was actually, it kept me entertained because of all the trades.
Yes.
I realized like after the probably 12th pick that.
And the 17th trade.
Yeah. Okay. Well, no, I'm saying I realized after the 12th pick last night that I probably wouldn't care that much about the NFL draft in round one, outside of the first like 12 picks, if there weren't trades.
Really?
Yeah, like I'm more interested now, and maybe this is just a thing because Nebraska guys are gonna get their name called today. But
Hopefully.
I'm more excited about today's draft or today's two rounds 2 and 3 than I would be about.
I think it's because you don't have an NFL team. Like for me,
Maybe.
I'm always interested in the NFL draft, and it's later on in the first round because that's normally where New England picks. Now they're like middle of the first round, and they can never get anybody. And by never get anybody, I mean they're just going to trade down and take somebody from Tennessee Chattanooga instead of.
Okay, yeah. How are we feeling about that? Because I saw the whole thing that he doesn't have highlights.
I don't know, dude. I watched his highlights. They finally had some, but when he was first drafted, Booger and Louis Riddick and they all just kind of sat there, and you just hear one of them go, "Huh."
Every single
and
draft
I was
pick.
like,
no, it was every single draft pick. You just hear their mic go, ooh, and then the Chattanooga guy, yeah,
like it was like, oh,
we need to find that
dang
audio.
it!
We need to try to find that audio.
Like as soon as they said his name, and I was like, who is this? And then no highlights, just a picture of him, his height, weight, where he's from, like whatever. I'm like, this is Bill, what are you doing? Bill, I understand you have 6 Super Bowl. Yeah, well, you have more because you had some from before you were a head coach. But what are you doing?
I just loved how they were trying to justify the idea that the Patriots do this all the time. The Patriots, they did the same thing with the Packers last night, which Mississippi Mud Dog,
I'm sorry.
Let me know how you feel.
The Packers you just need to accept they will never take a skill position player in the first round as long as Aaron Rodgers is there.
They drafted their first pick or whatever. Then their second time last night, they were trying to be like, you know what? Booger was out there going, oh yeah, there's no Devontae Adams left, so maybe they're not going to draft a skill guy. And Lou Riddick's like, well, you don't know if there's a Devontae Adams until Devontae Adams, right before he got drafted, we weren't saying, oh, he's going to be the next, like one of the top 2 receivers in the NFL. And then Booger's like, oh yeah, I guess that's right.
Well,
so they justified why Green Bay was going to take a wide receiver later in the first round when they already passed up on a skill position earlier. And then they drafted inside linebacker.
I feel like Booger knew that they weren't going to take a skill guy. So he was just trying to pass on like, hey, Packers fans, don't,
trying to justify why it's okay.
Yeah, well, there's no Devontae Adams, so you should be okay.
Speaking of 6 wideouts were taken last night. I know. 6 wideouts were taken last night. In case you were curious, the over-under that Vegas set on wide receivers taken in the first round was 5.5. So they hit it right on the head.
Shout out to Vegas.
But they 6 wide receivers were taken. And I honestly thought that the Packers were going to take the wide receiver out of Arkansas. But then the Titans decided to sweep in,
trade away
AJ Brown, who then signed a $100 million extension with the Eagles, and they take the Treylon Burks guy from Arkansas.
They take Treylon Burks, whose NFL comp was AJ Brown.
Exactly, but so they got a younger, cheaper AJ Brown, which now this year. So
AJ said he wasn't going to play for the Titans until they re-signed him. Him, Deebo Samuel, and there was one other. I don't remember who it was. Terry McLaurin, I believe, have all said or had all said, we are not going to go to OTAs. We're not going to play for the team or practice with the team during off season until we sign our extensions. And AJ Brown's is taken care of now because he's not there anymore. Deebo Samuel, I don't see the 49ers trading Deebo away unless they can get, a first round pick next year for something, but it has to be from a team that they don't think is going to be good, even with Deebo Samuel. Because apparently Deebo, one of the teams is Kansas City looking at Deebo Samuel, but teams don't want to trade with Kansas City for a first round pick because you're going to be good. So you're going to get like a 30th pick. So,
so that's interesting. The whole Marquise Brown, Hollywood to Arizona. That's interesting. I saw a tweet today that said, Hollywood Brown requested a trade right after the season, and we just never knew anything about it.
Wow.
So
looking at his tweets and Lamar's tweets, I don't know if that's
Lamar Jackson's not happy.
No, not
well. So I'm wondering more if Lamar Jackson's okay with Hollywood Brown moving on. I wonder if it's more of Lamar Jackson getting pissed that they didn't draft somebody to take his spot.
No, I think they
got Linderbaum.
They took Kyle Hamilton as well.
Yeah, but that's no help for Lamar. If you look at who Lamar
Linderbaum
has,
is a lot of help.
Okay, yes. But if you look wide receiver wise,
he's got Rashad Bateman,
and then they have Mark Andrews.
That's 2 solid weapons. Just filling the pieces around.
You need more than 2 solid weapons in the AFC.
This draft is loaded with wide receivers and pretty skilled running backs. Although they have somebody at running back, I can't remember.
J.K.
Yeah, J.K. Dobbins.
J.K. Dobbins,
so
who's coming off of an injury.
They'll be fine. J.K. Dobbins will be fine. But it was such a weird NFL draft at the top because you had 5 defensive players go all in a row, which was the first time since 1997, I think is what they said. 5 defensive players going before your first offensive player. And you had Derek Stingley Jr. going number 3 overall to Houston, which if it were 3 years ago
in 2019, hell yeah,
I would understand. But now you're going off a straight potential and what you saw 3 years ago, because Derek Stingley is not the same guy he was. Granted, I'll give you the fact that he was injured, but again, he was injured. He hadn't played that well up to that point. If you're going to take a corner that high, you should take Sauce Gardner. You take the guy who hasn't allowed a touchdown.
They took Stingley before Sauce.
Sauce was taken immediately after by the Jets. If you're going to take a corner in the top 5, in the top 3, you take the guy who hasn't allowed a touchdown his entire college career.
Am
I wrong?
No, definitely not.
You take the guy who can't find his way to the stage. Takes a wrong turn, is wearing all the ice. Man's had at least 10 pounds worth of chains.
So I like Atlanta's pick with Drake London at number 8.
I do like Drake London. What, did he break his ankle or something?
Yeah, had some ankle injury.
Drake London is a fantastic wide receiver.
I was surprised that Drake London went before Garrett Wilson, but maybe it's more of what Atlanta needs, I suppose.
Well, if you look at the numbers and what he put up in the 8 games before he got hurt, he was on pace to finish as the best receiver. So
Arizona is really interesting, and I'm sure you guys will get this with Bach. But they trade the number 23 overall pick and the 100th overall pick in the 3rd round for Marquise Brown. They pair Kyler Murray and Marquise Brown back up like they were at Oklahoma.
Kyler Murray, who they still haven't signed.
And yes, but Marquise Brown is the guy now can replace Christian Kirk, who is no longer in Arizona. So I understand why Arizona did that. Now they have Marquise Brown, DeAndre Hopkins, Rondale Moore, and Kyler Murray on offense. Which on paper, I like that a lot.
That is a tiny offense.
Yes,
outside of DeAndre Hopkins.
It's deep. Well, yeah, deep threat.
Like DeAndre's like
Marquise
6'3", Marquise is like 5'10", Rondale's 5'10", Kyler Murray's 5'10". Like that is a tiny offense. And then the giant.
I also think that the Bengals got good value at 31 with Dax Hill. I did not understand the Cowboys selection. The Tulsa offensive lineman.
Is that who they took?
They took Tulsa offensive tackle Tyler Smith, 24th overall. But he graded out at they showed it on ESPN in a graphic as like the 43rd best player in the draft. And they drafted him 24th overall. And Jerry Jones completely taking a shot at development there.
I wonder who made that call, since Jerry Jones was calling that as GM before the draft, saying the GM made the call on Taco Charlton, who didn't work out, and Jerry made the call on Micah Parsons. So I wonder who made the call on this guy.
Everybody should have made the call on Micah Parsons last year. Rico, before we get to break, I need to stake my claim here.
No,
we are going to do this.
Nick, don't do this to yourself. Don't pick a better team.
It's not necessarily that I'm going to be a fan of this team.
If you're doing this, you're going to become a fan.
I'm going to be interested.
Do you like pain?
So after watching the draft last night, I think this might be the year that the Lions have a decent year.
What?
Decent year. 8 win. No, okay, maybe not 8. 7. They're on the cusp of the playoffs.
This guy.
I'm writing it. I'll write it on the board. I'm going to write it on the board.
Please do.
Detroit Lions have 7 wins this year.
Will they still finish last in the NFC North?
Who else is there? That's the Packers.
Vikings, Packers. Bears.
No, they will not.
They will not.
They will not.
Just put that.
Okay, the Lions will not finish last in the NFC North.
Just put that. You don't even need to put a win total with it.
And you might say, Nick, you're insane. And I, judging by recent history, you might be, because I've also said on this show, this program, that I hate Jared Goff.
You have said that.
But if you look at what's around Jared Goff, and 402-464-5685, send in your hot takes, because this is a show strictly about hot takes.
Yeah, hit us with your NFL draft hot takes.
What'd you see last night with your team that you either hate or love? Here's the Lions' offensive arsenal after last night. DeAndre Swift, 23 years old. Jamal Williams, 27 years old. Amon-Ra St. Brown. Jameson Williams. DJ Chark. TJ Hawkinson. They have a very young...
Who's throwing the ball?
They have a very young offensive line, but you know who's on the right side of that offensive line? A guy named Penei Sewell that they drafted with a top 5 pick last year. A lot of upside with Penei Sewell.
Who's throwing the ball?
Jared Goff.
Okay.
That's exactly why I needed them to get somebody. I needed a quarterback. They needed to get a quarterback last night.
Who's on the left side?
Or what if they trade for Baker?
Still don't like it.
Why have the Detroit Lions not been talked about as a destination for Baker?
Because it's Detroit.
Well, the Browns won't take an even swap Goff for Baker.
What's the worst city to live in? Cleveland or Detroit? 402-464-5685.
Oh, there it is. That could be a poll question. I think the Lions are going to finish second to last in the NFC North.
Ahead of the Bears?
The Vikings. I think the Vikings are going to be bad this year. I think we're about to see how bad Kirk Cousins is.
Wow, you really said that with your whole chest. Huh?
I did. I still believe in Justin Fields.
Okay.
Rico, you good?
That is a ridiculous.
What is going to make Minnesota so good?
Just the fact that they're always mediocre. They will never finish last. They will never finish first. They will always be second or third. That is the Kirk Cousins way.
I might just go
That is
off
the
here.
Kirk Cousins way.
Kirk Cousins is bad.
He has one of the top 10, top 8 receivers in the league. He has another receiver with probably some of the best hands in the league.
I thought one of them left. I thought Thielen was a free agent.
Nope, Thielen is still there. And even if he was a free agent, he's not going anywhere.
Dang, maybe that's a bad take then.
Their defense is
Dalvin
still
Cook,
pretty solid.
I guess Dalvin Cook's there.
Still pretty solid. They just picked up a great safety.
Maybe. All right, so that one's out for discussion.
Goodness
that one's out for discussion. Can I just put the win total back? Detroit will finish with more than 7 wins.
Sure, we can do that.
7 wins or more. Okay.
Over under on Detroit wins is at 7. 7. Okay.
No. It would be 6.5.
You want 6.5?
It would be 6.5. It'd be either 6 or 7.
Okay, I'll write that on the board.
I just think Cousins is bad.
Cousins isn't a good quarterback, but he's mediocre.
Who are you taking, Derek Carr or Kirk Cousins? And if you say Kirk Cousins, oh my, Rico.
I'm going to take Kirk Cousins.
That is unreal what you just said.
Yeah, I'm going to take Kirk Cousins.
That is the stupidest thing. You've said a lot of stupid things, Rico.
I don't think I have.
And that might be the dumbest thing.
I don't think that is.
Okay, unnamed texter says this. Ravens killed it in the draft. They traded Hollywood Brown, who is not a number 1, for essentially a pick 25. Ended up with Kyle Hamilton and Tyler Linderbaum. Raiders and Vikings fan here, so not much for my teams to point at. Thomas and Lincoln says this. Cousins is not a good QB, although I can't complain because Carolina needs to get Baker, so that way we have a good QB. Did Carolina got that offensive tackle from NC State, right?
Yeah.
That's who they picked up.
Ikem
Okunu. Also,
did you know his dad? They were talking to his dad's a 6'6" doctor.
6'6" doctor who played college basketball.
Yeah, and his mom ran track.
Yeah. Did you? I was shocked. I was shocked to see Kayvon Thibodeau go so early to the Giants.
Were you? I wasn't.
I was shocked. I was shocked to see him go. I thought the Giants could have. Who was their second pick that they
Evan
grabbed?
Neal.
Yeah, I was surprised that they did not.
Combo right there.
I was surprised that they did not get a wide receiver with where Kayvon was, because I think Kayvon would have been there.
I think Kayvon wouldn't have been. Well, they wanted both. They wanted Kayvon and Evan Neal. And this, like we said, this draft is so stacked with wide receivers. You can get a pretty solid wide receiver in the second or third round. You'll be fine.
So I'm on NFL.com. This is the last thing before we get to break. NFL.com. Day 1 quick snap grades for all 32 teams. New England Patriots. D.
Yeah.
UT Chattanooga guard Cole Strange. The Patriots traded down from number 21, acquiring 2 middle round picks from the Chiefs. Their pick at number 29 was a surprise, as Strange was selected at least 40 to 50 picks ahead of where we expected him to go.
Yep.
Rico,
You want to know some players that they could have had? Trent McDuffie, Quay Walker, Kyer Elam, Tyler Smith, Tyler Linderbaum, which they're thinking of putting Cole Strange at center. Why not just get the best center? Jermaine Johnson, Devin Lloyd.
Yeah, Jermaine
Devontae
Johnson
Wyatt.
dropped.
Yeah, they were
You could have
talking
taken
about
Jermaine. You could have taken Karlaftis.
I hate it here.
Man, you missed out, Rico. Last text before we get to break. Nick, you should stick with 5 waffles instead of 5 waffles a day instead of drinking like today. Lions 7 wins, really? So Hutchinson is worth 4 wins? No way. 4 wins at best. I like their offense. I love Amon-Ra St. Brown. I don't like their quarterback. I like DeAndre Swift. I love Jamison Williams. TJ Hawkinson was my fantasy football tight end this last season. Good little threat there at tight end. Penei Sewell.
On the right side.
And here's the deal.
Who's protecting his blind side?
Dan Campbell is the head coach. He's breaking knees.
He's biting kneecaps.
Biting kneecaps.
Ripping them off.
Ripping kneecaps.
Whatever,
Inject Dan Campbell into my veins.
We need to get to a break because you're drunk.
All right, let's get to break. I'll sober up during the commercials. Once again, happy hour sponsored by Empire Fence and Netting. Shout out also to Good Sense for Good Sense Fridays. 402-464-5685. Latrell Neville entered the transfer portal a couple hours ago. We'll kind of discuss it. All things Husker football on a Friday coming up next.
Follow Nick and Enrique on Twitter at Nick_Sainert and at Radio Rico AC. More of Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hello, I'm Charlie Stone, back with the latest news from Honda of Lincoln. Joining me now is the general manager, Andy Goodyear. Hey, Andy, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Charlie.
Hey, Andy, with spring right around the corner, how is your supply of new Hondas and pre-owned vehicles?
Really good, Charlie. As I've said before, when you drive by our lot, you don't see what you're looking for, just remember we have hundreds of new Hondas arriving soon, with Honda continuing to offer 0.9% APR financing to qualified buyers. Plus, we have over 125 pre-owned vehicles in stock and ready for immediate delivery.
That's great, Andy. Any more great news?
There is, Charlie. Honda just announced financing from 0.99% APR on certified pre-owned Hondas for qualified buyers.
So come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. Rob Rhodes, a Nebraska family practice physician. Are you or someone you love at risk of an opioid overdose? Get the free Opie Rescue app for your phone. Opie Rescue can guide you through the steps of how to respond to an opioid overdose. Be Opie ready. Download Opie Rescue today.
Paid for by the CDC. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services and aired in cooperation with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
There's not many things worse than having plumbing issues at your home or business, but it's even worse if the problem isn't fixed correctly. Select Plumbing gets it right the first time, and they specialize in several things: general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. Plus, they're hiring service plumbers. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197. 2-1 count, and that's a deep drive into the gap. Smith rounding first base. It's a stand-up double.
Hey, Nick, speaking of doubles, did you know Wings and Rings has 2 ways to enjoy their next-level food?
Rico, we're in the middle of a game.
The game can wait, Nick. One way is to stop by one of their Lincoln locations. They have 2 great locations at O Street, Meridian Park, and 40th and Old Cheney in Williamsburg Village.
You said 2 ways. What's the other way?
You can order online at wingsandrings.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and it's been a great start here to the year as 2022 new inventory continues to roll in. Our pre-owned lot remains full, and we are selling at a record pace. I was just down at Koppel talking about a new order for myself, and they let me know I can actually start ordering a 2023 here later this spring. So stop on in to get your new 2022, your pre-owned vehicle, or maybe talk about ordering here for 2023. Check them out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did.
Another packed spring sports season means it's time to get to N Street Drive-In to fill up on all your beverage needs. Stop by for great deals as April's beers of the month are Deschutes Fresh Squeeze IPA, Wild Onion Ubi Goober Hazy Peach IPA, and Belching Beaver Brewing. Also, make sure to download the new N Street Drive-In app to order online and to set up delivery right to your front door. And don't forget their top-notch growler fill system. N Street Drive-In, your one-stop beverage stop at 1801 O Street.
James Enterprise Incorporated, that company that hauls your gravel, rocks, and material for your farm or construction site, says thank you to the people of the healthcare community for putting yourself in the way of danger to save the public. That is what it means to be a hero and to build a beautiful legacy. This message brought to you by James Enterprise Incorporated. For all your hauling of rock, gravel, and materials, call them at 402-432-6740. That's 402-432-6740.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
For our Friday, it'll be mostly cloudy with a high near 71 degrees. We'll have breezy winds coming from the southeast at about 11 to 20 miles an hour with gusts as high as 30. Later tonight, we'll have showers and thunderstorms. The storms can produce heavy rainfall, a low around 49 with southeast wind up to 9 to 17 miles an hour. New rainfall amounts between a half and 3/4 of an inch possible. I'm Harrison Arns with 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back. Sure.
Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SauterHeyman.com.
Spring is here. Are you giving your yard the best chance at being healthy and green? Call Penner Sprinkler and Lawn to get your sprinklers ready to go for the season if they haven't been working properly. They're also scheduling installs for new sprinkler systems if you don't have one. So make sure you contact them early to get a bid as soon as possible. Plus, they're your one place to go for 5-step fertilizer and pesticide application and lawn aeration. Call Penner Sprinkler and Lawn today at 402-413-1215.
You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary, sponsored by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
So Steve Sipple decides to just waltz on in here.
Shout out to Steve Sipple. He is a gorgeous human being.
Rico, your relationship with Sip just kind of confuses me sometimes.
Why?
I don't know. Like, I feel like it's a one-way thing where
100%.
He's a gorgeous human being, and then you tried to put your hands on his shoulders, and he was
terrified.
He was scared. He didn't know what was going to happen next.
He does not like when people touch him. So obviously, I need to touch his shoulders at every.
That's
chance
what I'm
I
saying.
get.
I feel like there could be
It's very one-sided.
a pending lawsuit coming up here.
Nah.
If it goes too far.
Nah, it's not that weird.
But no, Steve Sipple decides to waltz on in here and challenge me to a push-up contest.
He didn't challenge you. He said that you needed to start picking on different grandpas. Because you and Nate are out here picking on grandpas.
Come here, Sip. Come on in.
Get in here, Sip. Join the happy hour.
He can't open the door. He always comes in. I forget that we see Sipple now every Friday.
Yeah, join the happy hour, Sip.
He decides, we can actually ask him about football real quick here.
Yeah, real quick.
Hey, Sip.
I'm on the move.
I know you're on the move. You got an article.
Very busy man.
Articles to write.
Yes.
Big fan of Drurians.
Drurians are fine.
Yeah.
Hey, how are you guys doing?
Good.
Great,
Sip.
man.
So
Okay, what's the dealio?
Latrell Neville. Let's just get right to it. Surprise, not surprise.
Remember what Mickey Joseph said a few weeks ago? I think it was on March 23rd when he was asked about Hardy, Grimes, and Neville, the class of 2021 receivers.
Yep.
And paraphrasing Mickey, he said, I'm telling those guys they better improve because the days of staying around here for 3-4 years and not improving are over. So they got to get better now or they got to move on.
Yeah.
So that's Mickey. Mickey's I don't know. It doesn't surprise me. Those three guys, out of those three, I think Grimes has made the most. Camonte Grimes of Naples, Florida, has made the most progress. So I wouldn't. No, I'm not surprised. Based on those comments alone, I knew that threw up a red flag to me.
Okay. What happens with? We'll let you go after this. What happens with O'Shawn tomorrow?
Oh, I think it's in Nebraska's favor.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it feels like
I don't mind
50-50.
saying that. Yeah.
If he chose Texas, would you be surprised?
Yeah, I like when you do this. You ask good questions, youngsters. Would I be surprised if? Yes, I would at this point.
All right.
Yeah,
You
I'm
heard it.
expecting Nebraska without knowing for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And it could, these are the sorts of things that seem fluid to me. But no, I'll be surprised if he doesn't pick Nebraska.
Okay.
I'm not breaking any news because I don't know for sure.
You mean recruiting's fluid? No way. No way.
Yeah. And what else? What else is it? What else you got?
It is.
Well,
It is.
Any more transfer portal? Anything?
Oh,
yes. Any ideas?
There'll be a couple more, probably
comings and goings.
Yeah, today, and I think they got a great chance by the end of the weekend of getting that Devin Drew. By the way,
okay.
By the end of the weekend,
okay,
sounds good.
We'll see. Again, that one I'm reasonably sure of. I'm more confident in that one, Devin Drew. So there you go.
What's your? Go ahead.
Nothing. Transfer portal outgoing. Nothing that would cause any major concerns.
Good.
Okay.
What's your sandwich order?
I think it's ham and salami.
Salami.
Steve
Salami Sipple.
That's
all right.
Love it.
All right, Sip.
Love it.
Thank you.
Elder abuse.
I know.
Stop.
He's so rude.
Stop.
He's so rude.
Get out of here.
That's an inside joke, but Nathan
oh God.
and Nick are all about challenging elders to things.
They are. They're
It's interesting.
terrible.
All right. Listen. I don't know why I was attacked in this because
You're attacked.
You know why.
Because I'm 56, Nathan.
Okay, but Sip, you need to realize
56.
I gave you a guy that's younger than me on your team, and I gave you Bach. Bach is 30. That's technically your athletic prime. So Bach is in the peak of his life, and I gave you
How
him
old
on
are
your
you?
team. I'm 23.
He's so young.
I give you the advantage.
I can't believe when I was 23, I was challenging 56-year-old students. Hey, you want to
I'm
race?
challenging your team.
Hey, my dad's friend. You want to race?
You know what? No, I will race you. Let's go out to the parking lot right now.
No, I'm
Parking
not
lot right now. Let's go.
You know
I
what?
don't want your dignity's at stake.
Simple. I got you.
Yeah,
I'll do these.
I'm
I'll
not
do these
racing
challenges for you.
Rico. What is
I'll do
this?
these challenges
Please
for you.
handle.
No, trust me. You
I'll
still would be
hey,
fine.
I'll handle
I
your.
refuse
I'll
to
handle
race
your light work.
Handle the crazies for me.
I'll handle your light work, Sip. I got you.
All right.
Rico, when's the last time you ran?
5 years ago.
He was a sprinter.
I know, and that's why I don't want to race him. I'll race you.
Well, I'm 56. What would you be?
Sippo's too busy. I handle his light work for him.
Hey, Sip, did you
So I got
drive?
you.
Did you drive the truck today?
Yes.
Good.
Why?
Be safe out there.
Can't drive the hog. It's wet out there.
Have a great day, Sip. I appreciate this. It's always like
God,
5-minute conversations.
Yeah.
Simple.
It's good.
Thanks for having me
It's-
on.
it's not-
an
I-
honor.
Yeah, it's I
This
don't.
is ridiculous.
We don't have to talk long. We just get to catch up real quick.
Catch up real
Simple.
fast.
I love you.
I love you too.
This is actually stay for a second. Is this relationship a one-way street?
No,
Don't lie. Come on.
Man, it's
It's a
some
one.
people use the word love a little more loosely than others, and
Sip, be very.
I gotta tell the people that I care about that I love them.
I
You
care
never
about
know.
Rico.
Every day is new.
What?
That's a nice way to be.
Oh yeah, that is a good thing.
I never
Rico.
tell Nick I love him because he's annoying.
That's true. Sip
Rico.
doesn't say he likes me either because I mean on day 2 he calls me names.
That just means he likes you.
That's true. That's true.
Sip,
Sip's
I have a
one of those
question
guys.
for you.
If he calls names, then he
And
likes.
this
you.
is a
Nathan.
very important question. I need you to think long and hard about this
All
because
right,
this could have
Nathan.
some serious repercussions,
All right,
even or odd.
That's true. We need to know.
even or odd on what?
Even or odd.
Just even or odd number.
Odd.
All right, Red 7.
$700 on odd. This is on you.
Thank you. We're
This
making.
is on
We're,
you.
we're
I'm
making.
just letting you know
we're,
right
we're
now.
making a
This is
trip
on
to the
you.
casino tonight.
His,
So
his rent for the next month.
My
is
rent.
on you
No,
now.
my rent
Where
for
are
the
you
next
guys
month
going?
is on you.
Where you're going?
where are we going?
Horseshoe.
Horseshoe.
Are you?
Yeah.
You guys are going saddling up.
Yeah, we are.
And
Yeehaw.
us and Eddie Messel from 1011.
Yeah.
Oh man, really?
So
We got the crew.
Okay,
you're more than welcome to tag along.
He's busy.
56. I'm 56.
Don't worry. We'll be back by dusk.
We'll be back.
We'll be back behind before your bedtime.
I'm covering the draft tonight.
All right.
Yeah.
When's Cam going?
Third
Okay,
round. Third round.
Ooh.
All right. Thanks, Sip.
All right. Nice seeing you guys.
Have a
You
great
too,
day.
Have a
Nathan.
good one.
Bye-bye.
Let's go ahead and take a break. We'll be back to wrap things up on a Friday on the Happy Hour.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day long wherever you are. More of the happy hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back. Sure.
Sutter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SutterHeyman.com.
2-1 count, and that's a deep drive into the gap. Smith rounding first base. It's a stand-up double.
Hey, Nick, speaking of doubles, did you know Wings and Rings has 2 ways to enjoy their next-level food?
Rico, we're in the middle of a game.
The game can wait, Nick. One way is to stop by one of their Lincoln locations. They have 2 great locations at O Street, Meridian Park, and 40th and Old Cheney in Williamsburg Village.
You said 2 ways. What's the other way?
You can order online at wingsandrings.com.
Join us at Cactus by Venue for our new America's Favorites menu. We're keeping your favorite dips and tacos and adding brand new dishes, including delicious steaks, burgers, pastas, and more. Focusing on vibrant casual dining using a blend of fresh ingredients prepared from scratch. Located at 56 and Highway 2 in the Edgewood Shopping Center, see the whole menu online at cactusbyvenue.com and order yours to go at venuedelivered.com. Cactus by Venue, America's Favorites.
Tune in every Monday morning throughout the summer at 6:45 a.m. for golf course reviews on the Nebraska Golf Passport Early Break Golf Tour with Jake Sorensen and Steve Sipple on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Did you know that the U.S. has added over 1,100 new breweries in the last 18 months? Learn more by shopping at Myers Cork and Bottle, 13th and South, and by tuning in to Thirsty Thursdays with Kevin Myers, because sports are better with a drink in your hand. Friend it yourself.
Man, we're sitting around 8 viewers. Good.
Brats, check. Chips, check. Tickets. Love tailgating, but this year I actually wanted to be in the stadium. Season tickets just weren't in my budget. And I found a way. A research study at Solarion. I searched the studies and found a perfect match for me. I earned cash for the study and bought those season tickets. Plus, I made an impact on medical research. Find a study and sign up today at helpresearch.com.
You should consider the risks of the research before you agree to participate.
In every office, there's 2 types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. To me, that's the first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. Okay. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win. The bagels are yours. Smooth. Well, don't want to.
You lost Monday. You lost Wednesday. You're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
Yeah. Shopping for insurance can be a tedious and frustrating task, but the agents at Brokers Insurance Agency will do the work for you. They have partnered with over 20 of the best insurance carriers in the nation, which allows them to do the shopping all for you. Whether you're looking for business insurance or employee benefits for your company, or you're looking to save money on your home and auto insurance, Brokers Insurance Agency has the agents and solutions to help meet your goals. Call 402-420-5353 or email staff at brokersinsurancene.com.
Husker fans, continue to support the Nebraska softball team during Fan Appreciation Weekend, May 6th through the 8th. The team hosts Indiana in a 3-game series with giveaways each day. On Friday, the first 500 fans receive a water bottle. Come out Saturday and be one of the first 500 fans to receive a blanket. And on Sunday, if you're one of the first 500 fans, you'll get a pint glass. Saturday's game is also Senior Day and is free admission for everyone. For more information, visit Huskers.com. Get your single game tickets now at Huskers.com/tickets or call 1-800-8-BIG-RED.
You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary, sponsored by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, back here on the Happy Hour, brought to you by Empire Fence and Netting in Waverly. Give them a call today for a quote, 402-682-7658. All right, so we have a phone call on the Honda of Lincoln hotline, but first, let's give away our care basket courtesy of Beatrice Bakery.
First things first. Whoop, now I have to find the text again. Give me one. There it is. Found it. All right. So every every day, every week. We try to give away gift baskets to deserving folks around the city. And today's comes from Eric. It'll be going to a friend of his, a coworker named Michael Christian. Michael and Eric work at MTZ Construction, and because of some recent hardships, Eric has been giving Michael a ride to and from work. This morning, he was walking his 2 stepsons to their daycare when someone drove through a crossing, striking all 3 of them. Everyone is fine, just some scrapes and bruises, and he sprained his knee. I'm trying to do something nice for him and his family because they are a great group who deserve something nice to happen after this morning. So, Michael Christian, you can thank your coworker Eric because we will 100% be gifting you a Beatrice Bakery Care Basket, because that is a terrifying ordeal for you and your stepchildren to go through. And if anybody needs something nice to happen to them today, it is definitely you, Michael.
Yeah, and if you have somebody that you'd like to nominate, head over to theticketfm.com and click on the nominations tab, and you'll be able to nominate somebody for a care basket courtesy of Beatrice Bakery. But yes, and this will just go for everybody tonight. I know there's severe weather coming, whether it's just thunderstorms or tornadoes, whatever may come later this evening. Stay safe. Everybody stay safe, stay indoors, all that good stuff. All right, 402-464-5685. We have brought Nathan in because we're going to kind of touch on NIL for a little bit here.
Oh, we are.
And Nathan has some thoughts. We all have thoughts, especially after the whole Miami basketball player stuff came out. But let's go ahead and head to the Honda Lincoln hotline here. We have our weekly conversation with Bob. Bob, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Bob, appreciate you for holding. Are you out at the ballpark?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. How are we feeling? Are we warm?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're just finishing infield right now, and then Iowa's going to be doing their infield. So, but hey, guys, you remember Big Bird?
Yes.
And those big yellow shoes?
Mm-hmm.
That's what the Hawkeyes shoes remind me of. They've got bright yellow shoes on. It reminds me of Big Bird shoes.
They look pretty stupid?
Yes.
Good.
Perfect.
Good.
That's exactly what we want.
Bob, this is a pretty big series this weekend for Nebraska.
Yeah, but you know what? I like the way they have been approaching the last 3 games.
That's right.
They can continue that through this series, and then you got Minnesota, and then you got Michigan State. Well, I like our chances of getting in the Big Ten tournament.
Well,
So-
they need to get some wins. I mean, they're sitting at 8th place right now. And thanks for the call, Bob. We'll talk to you next week. All right.
All right.
See you, Bob. All right. So that's Bob from Haymarket Park. Look forward to our calls every single time.
Shout out, Bob.
It's a big weekend because, like Bob said, they have. Me and Mark were looking at their schedule a couple of days ago. It's not super difficult, but also Nebraska's made their schedule pretty difficult this year on themselves. But they're sitting at 8th place in the Big Ten standings right now. They need to be in the top 8 to get to Omaha. So they need wins. Like, they need to take 2 of 3 from every single team that they play from here on out if they want to get to Omaha for the Big Ten tournament, because how disappointing and just gut-wrenching would it be for Husker baseball fans to know that there's a Big Ten baseball tournament going on 40 miles down the road, and Nebraska's not a part of it. All right, good stuff. All right, so
like, you took everything. It's awful.
No, that's good stuff. All right, so
they got to win. Bryce Matthews has to continue to hit bombs. Max Anderson's bat's finally warming up.
Thank you.
The pitching staff is reaching their apex.
I just sat here. Look at Nate. Look at that. Look at Rico.
Right.
You are right.
All right, break.
Ready, break. Okay. Look, they're playing well now. Finally, it took a while. It took most of the season. They should have started the season like this, but if they can continue their hot streak, there's no way they shouldn't be in the Big Ten tournament, and hopefully on a hot streak, and maybe make some noise.
Yeah,
because again, that's the only way they can make it to further into the postseason.
So NIL stuff is going on. Go ahead, Nate, because I know you got a lot of thoughts on this.
You're
and if
Bach, very heated about
if Bach replies to you, let us know. We'll get him in.
Said
on
they're not set up yet.
Okay, that's fine.
All
right, cool.
And I'll rant about this twice because I got a lot to say.
Yeah, no, that's fine. We can go over 3:00 if.
So this is where my frustration stems. Last night, Jeff Borzello tweeted this: "A sign of the times. Miami's Isaiah Wong plans to enter the transfer portal this weekend if his NIL package." Notice how he used the word package, not NIL deal, not NIL sponsorship. NIL package is not improved. His agent
Notice that word, not his friend, not his dad, not his family. His agent told ESPN, billionaire John Ruiz, who also represents Baylor Shireman
and Nigel Pack,
who are pretty good college basketball players.
Yeah, just a smidge.
Said Wong is, quote unquote, under contract, but added, quote unquote, I do not renegotiate. Miami can't comment. There were at least 3 or 4 complete and total, not yellow flags, red flags in that tweet. And here's my issue that we've run into. This is not why NIL was created. The point of NIL was so that players could have a platform. They could get with local businesses, make a few extra bucks. Players could come on something like The Ticket, and there wouldn't be any repercussions. Players could have a YouTube page. There wouldn't be any repercussions. Players could go to a restaurant and tweet out, hey, come to Laszlo's tonight.
They could be like, oh, my favorite restaurant is this place, and it could be some sort of ad, and they could pay, and they could give them either free food or some money for sponsorship.
Little bit of money. You go to a community event, you sign a jersey.
Yes, signing things. You could sell a jersey.
Someone can give you $10. Your jersey can be in the bookstore, and you're not gonna. You can be on a T-shirt.
That was the big part with this whole NIL, was that I think a lot of fans were hoping, oh, sweet, I'll be able to go out and buy an Adrian Martinez jersey, or I'll be able to go out and buy an Omar Manning jersey,
which is what it was created for.
And that's that's the good side of NIL, but we're yet to see that side.
And
Oklahoma is doing that this next season.
And
they're
it's
selling
like, which is a good thing. And then it's, if you're, say, like the Fab Five at Michigan, they were selling Fab Five shirts.
Yeah,
the players would get compensated part of the money that you sell for each shirt.
Money Manziel, he was signing autographs. I mean, he was making money regardless.
But that's the thing. That's why NIL was created. And I don't think there's anyone that wasn't on the same page that these college athletes should be compensated for that. They should. But when you have a college athlete, an amateur athlete, saying that if an NIL package, that is not a deal with the business. That is a pool, a slush fund that is ultimately given to a player.
Yeah.
That is not name, image, likeness. That's not why this was created. And the fact that he has an agent, I thought the whole point of NIL was so you don't have to hire an agent and you don't get put in this situation where when you do hire an agent, you have to become a professional. And you're saying that you're under contract and you're not going to renegotiate?
Yeah.
This isn't amateur athletics anymore. This is the transfer portal is not the transfer portal. It's free agency. And this is the problem. And what it's doing is these college athletes, if you guys remember the statistic, you probably see it any major professional, or excuse me, no, I'm thinking it's professional, any collegiate sport at a high level, they have the statistic. 98% of college athletes will not play professionally.
Yeah.
We're devaluing education now. Let's not forget these kids. Yes, they should be making money on the side. This is not a professional sport. You're going to school for free. You're getting a college education. People don't get to say that. Not only are you getting a college education, you can walk out of here without having a single dime in debt.
That's big.
Do you know how valuable that is in today's society? And we're just losing it. We don't care. You think Isaiah Wong's biggest concern is about getting a college degree? It's about getting paid.
That's a good point. And we saw that with Nigel Pack.
Ridiculous.
That's why you pointed out who his agent was a big part of it, because Nigel Pack was a guy, he did not get paid a ton of money NIL wise at Kansas State. Decides to enter the portal. He's a bigger name transfer at the time. Wouldn't necessarily be the biggest name out there if he would have entered now, because Baylor Shireman's probably the biggest name out there. But
who has the same age?
Exactly. Say that's why it's important. So Nigel Pack goes, and I mentioned this on Rashawn's show, but I'll reiterate it here. He signed a 2-year, $800,000 deal with Life Wallet, I believe is the company name. $400,000 a year is what Nigel Pack is getting, plus a car.
If you sign a 2-year deal like that, do you have to stay in college for 2 years?
That's what I'm saying. Like, here's another thing.
If he breaks the contract, does he have to give some of the money back?
Here's what's interesting about that whole thing is you want to know how to limit the transfer portal, and signing contracts for multiple years is maybe a way to limit the transfer portal, because if you look at, signing contract may be a way to limit it, because what's interesting is this, like Nigel Pack, for example, Nigel Pack, if he transfers, his deal with Life Wallet, if he transferred from Miami, because he landed at Miami, let's say next year he's like, listen, Miami wasn't winning enough games. I want to play somewhere else. I actually want to win.
You signed that deal.
Well, so Life Wallet, because the whole point of NIL is not to be tied with the university, LifeWallet officially on paper should not be tied to Miami. If they are illegally.
Is that a national? Is LifeWallet like a national
That's what I'm
thing?
saying. I believe so. And so if he's signed with LifeWallet, then he could transfer to Texas, to Nebraska, to Oklahoma State, and that LifeWallet deal is still going to be valid because you're not. And if it's not, if somehow LifeWallet is tied, or this deal, this NIL deal with Nigel Pack is tied with Miami, then you're totally. Well, number one, it's illegal because
it's the purpose of NIL.
Exactly.
Though.
That's where you're starting to talk about it truly being a professional type of sport. And then also like the pay to play, that is paying to play. That is literally paying to play. Even though like we all know right now, the NIL, the way it is, it's screwed up. It needs to be buttoned up. It needs to be fixed. There's a lot that needs to be done with NIL. But at the end of the day, like there's loopholes right here that they can pay to play without it being pay to play.
Because it says NIL package.
Exactly.
And the thing that Kool-Aid Man said, did you really think it wasn't going to end up this way? This was the issue, is that I want to make it myself very, very clear. This is not the player's fault. They're taking advantage of a system that is flawed.
Yeah, exactly.
This is absolutely, and if someone told you that if you were a college athlete and you weren't taking advantage of this the same exact way Isaiah Wong is, they'd be a liar. They would be lying.
Stop right there. Let's take 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
But
go ahead, yeah.
If someone tells you that they wouldn't be taking advantage of it the same way as Isaiah Wong, they would be a liar. They would be lying to you. The problem is that whoever decided that this is how things were going to be ran. I don't know who's in charge and I don't know who's to blame, but there is an adult making these decisions and letting this go through, and they're the one to blame.
The problem
entirely.
is when
Mark
NIL
Everett's
was
stepping
first,
down too.
Yeah, the problem is when NIL was first instated, the NCAA was just like, okay, well, we're taking a step back. We're not gonna have anything to do with this.
Crime.
We're not gonna do.
Which
We're
is
not
a
gonna.
crime.
They were like, okay, you want to be paid? Go ahead, do it. We're taking a step back. You guys handle everything you want, universities, and feel free to deal with this as you see fit. And the NCAA just took that step back, and now the universities have to try and figure out how to deal with not only these student athletes, but all of these people, all of these billionaires, all of these millionaires stepping to these student athletes and saying,
these kids,
hey, I'm going to give you this much, but you have to play here. Or I'm going to give you this much, but you have to be. That's the problem right now is with some of these transfers. I'm not going to say that any of this is actually happening, but something that I believe is some of these places are like, hey, we're going to give you this much money, but you have to be a starter. So if this kid realizes, oh, I'm not going to start here,
and
what are you going to do?
And the problem is we need to realize at the same time, and I say this time and time again, even outside of NIL, I say the same things when you go on Twitter and people are coming at these college athletes. I say the same thing. I will always come at coaching. I will have critique of the players, but I will never be disrespectful towards players, because you need to realize at the end of the day, these are kids. These are literally kids. So you're telling me a 17-year-old, a senior in high school, is going to make a life-altering decision what school he's going to get a college education and have a 2% chance of going professional. His entire decision is going to be made off of an NIL deal. It's embarrassing. It's ridiculous, and something needs to be done. And it is not the player's fault. They're taking advantage of a flawed system.
That's the thing. So the player isn't necessarily taking advantage of the flawed system. It's the people giving advice to the player. We had the same conversation the other day on the water cooler with O'Shawn Mathis in his documentary. It's not O'Shawn Mathis's fault that he thought that the documentary was a good idea. It's whoever was older than him that he's taking advice in his corner on his side, quote unquote, tells O'Shawn that he's on his side to say, yo, bro, look, like doing a documentary that might get you a couple grand in NIL money. There you go. Look at that. That's a great idea. We're all sitting here like, dude, there were people on the text line earlier saying, man, like, I hope he comes here and he produces because I'm already tired of this drama. Like it's all about marketing. And Mr. Unlimited makes a good point here. Back to the pay to play from a university standpoint. He goes, might not be the LifeWallet guy, might not be tied to Miami on paper. The CEO of LifeWallet might be a Miami alumni. And that's just the loopholes that we're talking about, is that these universities, the institutions are figuring out the loopholes. They've already found them to where they're able to abuse the system and literally pay to play.
Just about
it is pay to play. When you sign somebody to a contract, you are paying to play. Like we thought that the Spencer Rattler $1 million NIL deal with Raising Cane's was out of line when it happened the first week. And now we're getting 2-year, $800,000 deals with Nigel Pack and a car.
And we have a guy, Isaiah
college,
Wong, saying, I will only stay here if my NIL package
That is idiot.
enough money.
That is crazy.
Yes.
It's
unbelievable.
Like I said, I'm not blaming any of the players because
Not
this
at
is
all.
just
You
something like
can't.
if you're going to college and let's say you were struggling, your family was struggling when you were in high school and you get to
Make as
college
much money
and
as you
somebody
can.
wants to offer you all this money. Hell yeah, of course you're going to do that because that's one less thing off of your plate that you have to deal with. Because maybe me and DP had this conversation. Maybe, your family is they're struggling to put food on their table while you're, at the training table eating like a king. So with all these NIL deals, you have money that you can afford to send back to your family. You have this, and that's one less thing you have to worry about that could take your attention away from the field or away from classes. And that would hinder you as a student, hinder you as an athlete, and then you wouldn't be able to even go to college and benefit from the scholarship where you're not going to have to pay student loans or student debt later on in the future.
And this is the saddest part, guys, which I feel like people aren't going to realize until once we have more statistics and numbers on this, it's going to be similar. 78%. This was a study done in 2022. 78% of professional athletes go broke after 3 years of retirement.
Exactly. We talk about the people that are in their corner.
3 years. And this is professional athletes making millions. Think of all the kids that are now going to go through college, aren't even going to become a professional athlete, and they're going to end up going broke. It's sad. Like, it is legitimately sad that we are doing this to 17, 18, and 19-year-olds.
Yeah, it
is literally sad. And trust me, the reason NIL was created was such a great thing. It gives players a platform that can come on 93.7 The Ticket. We have players that come here. It allows them to have that platform. It allows them to do that legal. It allows them to make some cash on the side. But signing 2-year, $800,000 contract is not NIL. It's not.
Here's what I'll say, and we got 35 seconds here. But in my opinion, when you insert that word contract and you have an agent, that's when it becomes professional.
Bingo.
Because contract, NIL, like you said, Rico, at the start of this segment, and Nate, you probably mentioned it as well. It's hey, these guys are having an autograph session on a random Saturday in May. Come see them, bring all your merch. There'll be signed jerseys available to purchase. All proceeds go to these guys. On a random Saturday, you're saying that you're going to lock in with this 20-year-old for 24 months? Out of line, bro. All right, we're done for today. Have a great weekend. See ya.
Adios.
Hello, I'm Charlie